On to blue. You take it away while I go and calculate the average rating for white.
Airy Worshippers. Three in a blue for a 2/4 human, which is relevant. He has inspired whenever Airy Worshippers becomes untapped. You may pay two in a blue. If you do, put a 2/2 blue bird enchantment creature token with flying onto the battlefield.
It's one of the other ones, but hey, you know what? This is a 2/2 bird and it flies for
Yep.
3, and that is actually okay.
The body's not terrible. Also, like
It's a
board
2. You know what?
toughness is.
This is what you play instead of your Pillow Locks.
Yeah, I mean it up some Belfield locks.
You're playing if you're playing blue, you're going to be playing a slower match anyway.
Yeah.
This will eventually, if not dealt with early, will eventually win you the game.
Yeah, this card threatens to take over the game. It makes your traits better, it makes your enchantments better, like they need to deal with it, or else it's gonna take over the game. It's late game mana sink. If you're in blue, um you want this card
Yes, you do.
in a lot of decks. I'm not sure in every blue deck, but in a lot of them you do.
Yep, you want this card.
5.5, 6, even probably. Well, yeah, I can go 6.
uh,
I would go 6 on this
yeah, I
card.
think that's about right. Let me just see where he is so I can do this. I'm still working on the other thing. Airy Worshippers. 6. Yep. All right. I need to finish with this lovely thing while we're doing it. Now, all right. Next one up is. Oop, did I hit the edge? Edge? Yeah, it's the edge. This one's mine, so I'll have to talk about it. Arbiter of the Ideal. This one costs too much. I mean, I love it. It's great. It sounds
Oh,
wonderful.
it costs too much. It costs
Um,
6.
yeah. Oh, I thought this was the archetype one.
Go through it. Go through
Yes.
it.
All right. So it's a 6 for 4/5 flying, which is okay, I guess. Whenever it becomes untapped, reveal top card of your library. If it's an artifact, creature, or land card, you may put it onto the battlefield with a manifestation counter on it. That permanent is an enchantment in addition to its other types. And an addendum for this in Magic rules is that even if the manifestation counter is removed, so long as it's still on the battlefield, it is still an enchantment.
This
Just so you know.
card's incredible in limited. 4/5 for
Yes.
4/5 flyer for 6 is great.
Also, he's a
The
Sphinx, or she
the
actually.
yeah, you're going to attack into this guy. You're gonna untap. You're gonna reveal the top card of your library, and you're gonna have like one more card in your hand. It's
It's not your hand;
really
it's on the battlefield.
well, yeah, yes, but it's you essentially get to play with one more card that exists.
The
You know what?
artifact isn't as important. The creature and land is essentially your entire deck. So yeah,
Yeah.
if you flip
Um,
over a card, unless it is strictly an enchantment, it is going onto the battlefield.
I want to talk about this guy in a standard context for a second.
Sure.
Um, because while he does compete with Aetherling, which is not exactly a competition, Aetherling beats this guy every time. He blocks most every flyer that exists right now in standard. He is a 4/5, which means he doesn't die to Selesnya Charm, he doesn't die to um any burn, just a boulder fall, I guess, but that's not played. I think that he has a chance to see play in standard.
That might be a thing.
I think the body is right where you want to be in standard. I think him having flying is really really good. It's interesting to just like have that in the back of your mind. Uh,
Yeah.
for limited, he's great. 7 easy. 7.5 maybe even. He's really good. Windmill slams for 6.
Yep. I'm almost
Uh,
done with the ratings for white here. So if you actually give me a moment, we'll get to that, and I'll be able to say where
yep,
we are on that. All right.
yep.
close that off. Last one, because I need to do the mythic. The single mythic in white. Alright. I think that's that, and then I need to divide by the total number of weighting, and we get the answer of 4.3 is the overall rating for white.
Yeah, that's about how I felt about it. Well, it doesn't seem very strong, but it has potential. Yeah, that seems right.
Yep. So it's actually not horrible. It's weenie.
Yep.
So in an aggro, like it's not gonna have the same overall. Like each card's not gonna be as good as say blue or
Yeah.
black or green, especially green.
But
But
there's a lot of synergy to it.
together,
Yeah.
it'll make a deck. So just keep that in mind. All right. So
Um,
Arbiter of the Awesomeness gets it's a seven.
Mad
It's
ups.
yeah 7.5 I think.
Ups.
All right. Next up we have yours, the Archetype.
Archetype of Imagination is 4 and 2 blue for a 3/2 um human relevant. Creatures you control have flying. Creatures your opponents control lose flying and can't have or gain flying.
It's a 3/2.
I could see
It's a 3/2 that flies for 6 and makes all your dudes fly.
which isn't which is powerful, but the the line for me is if it can attack into a Nessian Asp. And this cannot. If other creatures you control can do that, good. Then he's good. If creatures you control can't do that, then he's less good. Nessian Asp is huge in the format. I have no reason to believe that he will not be huge, not in the format, or in Theros, one of the gods.
Yep. I don't like this archetype. It's one of my least favorite.
Yeah,
I don't even think I will play it, honestly.
it's overcosted. I would play it.
I would
Giving
sideboard it.
all your creatures flying and taking away flying from your opponent is so good.
It is
Like,
so
it's so
good, but it
powerful.
costs 6. If I haven't won by the time I'm casting my 6th spell, there's something wrong.
It breaks up board stalls, which is good, which is important.
Yes. However,
Um,
there's another card I would prefer to have over this in my 6th slot, and that is the
Sea Lock Monster,
yeah,
or
no,
not Sea Lock Monster. The Kraken.
no, not even that. Just like Sea God's Revenge. Just like
Yeah,
your shit in your hand. Your Nessian Asp is in your hand. Now it doesn't matter.
yeah. But I think it's fine.
It's
I
fine. It's a decent card, but
I think it's better than fine. I'm gonna give him 5.5, maybe in the
I
six. I
want
think
like
it's
a
really
4 on this guy. Like I just
no.
don't think he's that great. I don't know. I just don't like him because I think he just costs too much for what he does. Like
He also like dies.
if you look at he dies to everything. He
Yeah,
has no power and toughness. He's got like yeah, he makes your dudes fly, but there's that
true.
other guy that's a 2/2 for 3 that gives everything first strike.
Yeah, I'd rather. You're probably right. He's probably more like 4.5.
He's not very good in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I think it'll be. I'm interested to see where he goes. But yeah, he's probably not very good.
He's also nowhere near standard playable, unlike
No.
the other archetype which might be.
Yep, I agree. This one's yours.
Next one is Course of the Tides. It's a 3/2 for 4 with flying, which is fine. See, like, this costs 2 less than the
Mm-hmm.
other one, and it does a fair amount, so I like him more. Heroic, Scry, which is not
Eh,
particularly great.
it's not terrible.
I would.
Um,
There are better heroic guys like the heroic draw card. Because instead of scrying, instead of looking, I'll just draw the damn thing.
definitely. There are better heroic guys, but this guy's a common. If you're playing blue white flyers, you want him. He attacks
Three.
for 3 in the air. He he's fine.
I think it's sort of just a 5. It's the sort of middle of the road
Yeah, 5.
flying dude.
Maybe a little bit better, but probably not. It's probably just 5.
I think the heroic is absolutely useless on him.
Eh,
Like, I don't think it's the kind of heroic you're actually going to actively try to use. It's the
no,
kind of
but
heroic that you might accidentally use.
yeah, if you want to see this guy up anyway, like having this guy is not bad.
Like, if you're going to throw an ordeal on this guy, okay, you accidentally scried.
Yeah,
But you're throwing an ordeal on the guy, which was the important part.
yeah, exactly.
Alright, so where did he go? Of course, the Tides. I just think he's sort of average.
Yeah, I agree.
Next one's up on you.
Crypsis. 1 blue for an instant. Target creature you control gains protection from creatures your opponents control until end of turn. Untap it. This card's insane.
Yep, it's very much like the green pump spell, which untaps your dude. Also,
I think it's I don't know. It's very good. It enables heroic. It enables inspired. It enables
it also allows you to bash through. So like if you
yeah
let's say for argument's sake we're in Magical Christmas Land and you use your Springleaf Drum to tap him for mana, then you
yeah
untap him and swing with him and you get double inspired because why not?
yeah
Or more realistically, a guy's attacking with like a Nemesis Immortals and you're like, oh shit, untap, block.
yeah.
That's reality.
Alpha like you could. I think what's going to happen a lot is you're going to see this curve of like Wave Crash Triton. That's the one that taps, right? Or
Yep.
the one that taps, the one that draws a card, and you're just like swing in, untap it, tap that guy, block.
Yep.
Like it's. I think this card is very very good. I would give it a solid 6.5.
I
That
don't think
area.
it's as good as the Triton's one, which is +0, +3 to 2 creatures untap, and they
No,
can't.
that card is just such a blowout.
That card is
There's
like
just
awesome.
nothing you can do about that card. Like they leave 1 mana up, and you know they have it, and you're just like, I can't
Oh,
do
by the
anything about
way,
it.
that guy is totally gonna bash that other one in the back of the head.
What?
Look at the picture.
Yeah,
He's just like,
yeah. He's like, you're dead.
yeah. I think it's like a 6.5 tile. I
Yeah,
think it's a 6 card because the other one is definitely better.
you're gonna play it
You'll play it.
in a deck with Triton tactics.
If you are playing a blue white heroic deck, this is in your deck.
hmm
It is a common as opposed to the other one, which is an uncommon. So you will actually see this
Yep.
potentially. So
On to the next one.
next one is mine, and I have Deepwater Hypnotist. It's a 2/1 for 2, um, which has inspired for -3 -0, and he's not very good. He's not very
Again,
good.
if you can, Crypsis or Triton tactics. If you have ways to untap him on your opponent's turn, he does very, very powerful things.
He does very mean things.
Like he he potentially makes combat. Like I don't think he's very good on his own, but if you have enough help for him,
He's the kind of thing that you would use that flash creature, the 3/2. He's the kind of guy you'd untap with that flash creature
yeah,
because you untap him, you get -3 -0 to something, and then
you
like you
block
kill
it,
that you kill the
yeah.
5/3 with a
I
3, or you kill like a 4/3 with a 3/2, and your 3/2 survives.
I like it because it's not a card that everyone's gonna want, but the one guy who wants it is gonna have a really good time with him.
Yes, he requires other cards to be good, and
Yeah.
requires the right deck to be good, and most of the time he
I
is pretty
mean,
terrible.
he's a Goblin Piker. He's not the worst card in the world.
Yeah, he's a Goblin Piker, but
Yeah,
he's not a bear. Bears are better than Goblin Pikers.
I agree. It's true. They have one more toughness, but I'm gonna give him I'm gonna give
4,
5.5.
no,
I believe in this card. I
four
believe
and a
it's gonna go the
half,
distance.
4.5.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's probably what it was. Like I just really like. I,
Remember the last time we saw a Merfolk with these kind of stats? I think he was a 2 or a 1.5. I think he was the
I
lowest thing we gave last set.
I I think this effect is very
He's better,
interesting.
but I don't think he's a very good card. I mean, he's an almost bear.
I think this effect is very interesting. And I'm interested to see like where it goes because it feels like I don't know. It feels like there might be some hidden power there. I believe in this card's got potential.
Hey, we have a card that we've seen 100 times before.
Yeah. Divination. Draw two cards for
The
two
art is
players.
sweet though.
It is sweet.
So you know what?
Um,
Since everybody knows this card, yes, it's a good card. Play it. You draw cards, 3, great, okay.
yeah.
But it's got awesome artwork, and this is probably the best artwork Divination has ever seen. So
I think divination.
if you're playing Divination in Standard, you want this Divination.
Yes. I think divination might be worse in this set than it has been in past sets, just because there is the potential to like get ordealed out of the game, and just like there are a lot of aggro decks that will
Yeah.
just get you if you play this card.
If you're playing an aggro deck against an aggro deck, yeah, you probably don't wanna. If you are playing an aggro deck like blue white aggro, you probably want to play this at some point because you're going to need extra aggro.
Maybe
Like if you
I
played
don't
it turn
know.
5 because you needed extra shit,
It's not the worst thing an aggro deck can do, but I think you'd rather just have like a creature or a pump spell or something.
probably. But the thing about aggro is that these kind of cards and actually all the scry really helps you get away from petering out just drawing lands when you need stuff.
Yeah, I think scrying is well. I don't know. It's divination. I'm not gonna argue over
It's a fine
divination.
card.
Yeah, it's whatever.
If you're not playing the against a hyper aggro deck, you'll probably end up playing it if you're blue. So
Yeah,
decent. And I think you want 4 foils of this in your deck
you would.
because it looks
You would
beautiful.
think that.
It looks very beautiful.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I think it's worse than it's ever been, but I think it's still very good. Or it still does what it does.
I
which
think
is,
you're counting aggro as too high because we
which
just
is
went through white.
powerful. No, even in Theros, I think that like there's the potential to be ordealed out of the game if you like don't have it in the back of your mind.
Yeah, I guess. Anyway, next we have Eternity Snare, which is 6 for. What am I paying 6 for? I'm paying 6 to. No, I'm not. I'm not paying 6 for this.
No, you're not. But
To
it's
enchant a creature, it does replace itself with a card,
mm,
which is something I guess. But target creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. So this is anti-inspired and I guess stopping the card that smacked you once from smacking you again, which is what you'd use it for. But why would you pay 6 for that?
I actually think Blue has a long history of cards like this that just like grind out very small advantages. I think this card is deceptively powerful.
Remember in Return to Ravnica, that lovely card that did the same thing and it cost 3? You are paying 3 to draw a card.
Yeah.
You are paying 3 to draw a card.
Um. Maybe I think it's just like sort of one of those things where you
There,
just sort of do it.
you will not play this card.
It's a removal spell, and it's also
It's the worst removal spell.
it is the worst removal spell, but it is a removal spell, and it's like card draw. If you're playing a control deck, you want one of these. I think.
I don't think so. I think that if you're going to play 6 drops, there are better removal spells at 6. If you're playing black, there is hard removal at 6. If you're
I
playing
agree.
blue, there is bounce at 6.
I agree, but like that doesn't draw a card. That doesn't. Uh, I think this card is better than it looks. But
It is a way of dealing with gods. I'll give you that.
yeah,
Because you can't
it's a
destroy
way
it.
of dealing with gods. It's a way of like dealing with a creature that like is just huge, like Nemesis Immortals, Stone Shock Giant. Like it's just. I mean, if you're facing down like a huge thing, this is a way to deal with it, and it draws you a card for 6 mana. Sometimes you just got to do that,
It's not a
you
very
know.
good card, really. Let's be honest here. It's not a very good card.
It's not. It's not terrible. I'm gonna give it 4.5.
I'm gonna give it like I really want to give this thing like a 3 because I know in my heart that I'm never playing this card. There is no way in hell I am playing this card.
Also, in like sealed, this card's really good.
In sealed, it gets slightly better, but it's still
No,
not a card I want to be playing.
sealed is all about dealing with your opponent's bombs and grinding out small advantage. And sealed, this card's very good.
Eh,
Like you just want to deal with your opponent's bombs, and you just want to like draw cards in sealed.
I
That's my
guess.
theory anyway. I
I
would
guess it
play
gets
this in
slightly
sealed.
better, but I don't think it's very good. I think
I would
it's
I would play this as a one of in sealed, definitely. In draft, maybe less so, but
I
I
would rather play a null in sealed than this.
no way.
Yes,
But
because a
well,
null hits like every fucking creature ever in this
yeah, but
at
it
this
doesn't
point.
draw a card, and it doesn't. It only deals with it if you leave the mana up. Like you
It's
can't.
1 mana.
I know, but anyway, I'm gonna give this 4.5. He's gonna give it a
I'm
3.
gonna give it a 3, and we're gonna average to like a 4.
Whatever. Anyway, um,
Eternity Snare 4.
the next one is Evanescent Intellect, which
Evanescent
is
Intellect.
1 blue for enchantment. You enchant creature. Enchanted creature has 1 in a blue and tap for target player puts the top 3 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard.
It's a
This
trap.
card's bad. Yeah, this card's bad.
This card is only useful in one deck and one deck only, and you will almost never, ever, ever get the opening god for that. In fact, you need the blue black god. If you don't have the blue black god, you are not picking this card.
You wouldn't play this with Black God. You just
You
want. You
might.
just like. Well, you might, but you want to curve out
If
and
you're in a
like
really,
facilitate that.
really, really hardcore control deck, like blue
Yeah,
black hardcore control, you might use this as a win condition if you didn't get any
it's true.
bombs.
Like I, it feels almost like the old spider spawning decks
Which
in Triple
apparently
H
were
Shot.
amazing.
Yeah, they were really fun. Like it feels like one of those might be hidden in here somehow. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm not gonna play it. It's a 2.5 to me. I'm never gonna play this card.
Yeah, it's as good as the other one that we rated
Yeah,
as a 3. So,
yeah.
or do we rate it as a 2?
I don't know.
No, we rated it
It's
as a 2. So
whatever.
yeah, it's just we'll rate it with a 2.5 because it actually might see use. No, it's just as bad. It gets a 2.
Yeah. All
Just 2.
right. Next one.
2. All right. Next one up, we have Faded Infatuation. It's 3 blue for an instant to put a token onto the battlefield that's a copy of target creature you control. So you cannot use your opponent's dudes. However, anything with lovely enter the battlefield effects, or anything with anything big that you just happen to want 2 of, this is a great way to do it.
Yeah. I think it's fine. I think it does cost 3 blue, which means you have to be heavy blue,
But why wouldn't you be?
and well, I would always be, but um, blue doesn't generally get like big creatures.
Well, there's this really nice guy, this merfolk wizard, right?
Yeah.
that loves to make tokens.
Oh, no. In Standard, this card may be played. I'm
I don't
not
even. I
sure
was
if
just
it...
talking about like the Magical Christmas Land where you get him
No.
and this.
No, in Standard, maybe, probably not. I don't know.
If you're playing like red
Probably
blue,
not.
I think that this would work in red blue the most.
Yeah.
Just have a feeling that this would be a red blue style card because what you'd be copying would be a red dude.
Um, so I have a question. You might know this. If you play a dude and then you pump it with a pump spell, could you then Faded Infatuation and get the copy that is pumped?
No, because it's like a temporary thing.
Okay.
If like it's just like having +1/+1 counters on it, kind of
Okay.
in a way, like sort of that stay there for the rest of the turn. It's like it's not. Yeah, you can't.
Yep.
Um, however, you could do the Master Biomancer bullshit, and that will work
Yeah,
because they
you
will get
could do
bigger
that.
and bigger and bigger.
Yep.
All right, so
It's
it's fine.
no, it's not fine.
It is fine. It's of the ones. This is one of the better. Like if you're
I'm
going to
gonna
play
give this
one
like
in
a
limited, if you're going to play one
3.5.
in limited, this is probably the best of all five
Probably, but I
because it
still
doesn't
wouldn't
cost
do
much.
it.
Actually, no, the red one's probably better, but
The cost is really prohibitive. Um, I don't know. It just doesn't seem that. It doesn't seem like in limited it's ever going to be that great unless you have a bomb. But if you have a bomb, you're probably already winning the game. The mana cost is super prohibitive.
it is an instant.
It is an instant, but like it feels like if you have like a 4/5 and you're like attacking through their things, then what do you care about like getting another 4/5? You know?
Well, it might be the circumstance where you need to fog, and then it's a 3 mana blue
Well,
fog.
yeah, 3 mana blue fog is great.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fine-ish.
I'm gonna give it a
I
3.
would play it, but that's because
Yeah,
I like
you
that stuff.
you like battle cards,
I
but
like
so do
bad
I.
cards.
So, I'm gonna give it a 3.5
Yeah,
max.
3.5 is like it.
Sure.
Let's see. Next one up for you.
Flitterstep Eidolon. 1 in a blue for a 1/1 enchantment creature that cannot be blocked. It also has Bestow for 5 in a blue. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and cannot be blocked.
You know, double strike is good, but when you bestow this on something, you win.
Yeah, like in a control deck, in like which feels like what blue wants to do
In a
anyway.
deck that contains blue, you play this card.
This card's pretty good. Also, like we all know how powerful Invisible Stalker was. This card is not Invisible Stalker, but it does a pretty good impression. Like turn 2, you play this. Turn 3, you play like a bestow guy or like an
Remember,
ordeal.
Invisible Stalker was a mistake.
Yes,
Wizards
like
would like to apologize.
but like Flitterstep Eidolon is pretty damn close to that.
It
It's
just
like
does not have hexproof.
2 drop. Answer me right now, or I'm going to kill you.
Well,
I don't even think you play it for its bestow ever.
I think you do play it for its bestow because it does not have hexproof, and if you're in blue green, you have the other guy that's like a 3/2 that does the same thing. It does a quite good impression.
Kind of. You have that guy for like 3, and then you have to pay mana. Just having like a
But I
1
think he's
1.
more dangerous because he's got better stats and like I don't know. I mean, I would like to play them back to back because then you get to choose which one's going to kill you. But I don't know. I think he's more of a bestow, just like the double strike. I think that the 1/1 is what you won't do, and I think you'll pay the 6 for the.
I think on turn 2, this is a really powerful play. Off the top, on turn 6, it's also a really powerful play.
Off the top, on turn 6, you win the game. On turn 2, it's okay. That's sort of my feeling. Like, it has to be answered. Yes, that is correct. It must be answered.
Yeah, and like
But
so they use
it's
their like
easily answered.
it is easily answered, but it's also like a 2 drop. They just use their removal spell on your like 2 drop,
Yes, which is good.
and yeah,
It's
which
it's
is
better
also
than the double strike because
yeah, I agree.
it cannot be blocked, and so
And like you
therefore
could also
creatures are
just
not
like
removal for it.
you could toss enchantments on it. You just like make it gigantic and then just like swing for 10, and there's just nothing they can do.
Did we mention ordeals? This is the kind of thing that will ordeal somebody out of the game.
Yeah. Have we ever mentioned ordeals in this? I don't think so. Filter Step Eidolon, get in my deck, 6 all the way, all the way.
Probably, yeah. This is the kind of thing that I will take over a bad rare easily, and
Six point
sometimes even
five.
some good ones.
6.5.
No, I'm gonna give it a 6. I don't know. It's a hard thing to decide. Like,
It's really good.
it is
It's
really good.
like, did you ever play Invisible Soccer Unlimited?
I never played it in limited. I did
Card
play it in
was nuts.
standard though.
Card was nuts in limited. Like, you like, I played with my friend once, and like, I drafted the Spider Spawning deck, and he was sitting next to me, and he like first picked Invisible Soccer, and like the only thing that could beat that deck was just like Invisible Soccer thing, swing for 10.
Yeah. All right. So we're on the next one. We have our
Yes.
first Serpent, which is important for a later card.
God.
Floodtide Serpent. It is a 4/4 for 5, and it can't attack unless you return an enchantment you control to its owner's hand.
Eh?
Uh,
I'm not sure if I like that. If they're like end of the battlefield enchantments, that's interesting.
yeah.
Um,
If like
it also just like blocks all day.
yeah, it does. It just costs a little much. I mean, there's the Hexproof 4/5 for 5, I think,
Yeah, and that was never really played. Like, well, I
and
mean
this
it
is
was,
worse.
but yeah, that's true.
Probably. I mean, if there is a way, like if there is actually an enchantment that you want to be redoing over and over and over again, then I can sort of see that. But if there isn't, like, because I can't think of one. Nothing sticks out that I want to be doing
Oh
this to.
yeah. I mean, well, um, Boon Sitter,
I suppose, yeah, Boonsater would be a good one.
going deep.
Going deep.
Uh,
If there was an enchantment that said, when you cast this, draw a card?
but it also gives double heroic triggers.
Yeah, you could.
You could go like thing ordeal, swing twice, play this, bounce the ordeal, play the ordeal, swing, and like, but that's like it's kind of bad.
Yeah, that would be a terrible thing
Yeah,
to
no, yeah, sorry, that's bad.
Yeah,
But you
it's
go,
not a very good card.
yeah, no, it's not. I'm trying to find ways to work it, but no.
No, it's not good. It's like a 4 at best,
Yep.
three and a
Yeah.
half.
Yeah, no, it's a 4. It's gonna be played.
Well, it can't attack without having an enchantment. That's the part. Like, yes, it can block all day, but do you really want to pay 5 for a 4/4 blocker, or would you rather pay 5 for like a 0/7?
I've played 5 for like an 0-4 wall.
But
So
well, you want to pay 4 for an 0/4 wall called Wall of Ice or whatever it is, Wall of Frost.
yeah,
That's what you want to be paying like that for.
this card is fine. It's a 4.
It's a 4
It's
at
not good.
best. It's a not a good card.
It's not good,
All
but
right,
it's fine.
what do you have? A
Kraken
better card.
of the Straits. 5 blue for a 6/6. Creatures with power less than the number of islands you control can't block Kraken of the Straits.
So, when you cast this and you probably have like 4 islands, then you win.
Yeah.
It's a good
Um.
card. It's
If
a
you
bomb.
if you've already it's a bomb. If you've already stabilized the board, then it just wins you the game. If you haven't, it stabilizes the board for you. It does cost like 7 mana,
If you're
which
going to
is
pay 7
fine.
mana for something, this is what you want to be paying 7 mana for.
If you're yeah, like it wins you the game. Sure.
It's like Shipbreaker Kraken. in a way.
Yeah, it's worse than Shipwreck Kraken,
It's a little
but
worse, yeah.
it's still fine. It's
It
it's
is a six
worse.
six.
It is worse than Flitterstep Eidolon.
Yes, although you would love to stick Flutterstuff Eidolon onto this,
Why?
so that you have a 7/7 unblockable.
But you already have a 6/6 on Black Ball, basically.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, yeah, it's. What did we give Flitterstep Eidolon, a 6?
So we gave that a 6.5.
Then I'm gonna give this a 6.
I think that the cost should make it like a 5.5, but yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, 5.5. Yeah, that's probably right.
It's a good card though. Not a first pick.
No,
I
not for
don't
you.
think it's a first pick.
I would first pick it, but that's me. I like big
Melitus
over.
Astronomer, which is a 1/3 for 2, which is already decent enough. It's a fine card there. Because 1/3, the 3 is important. Because then you just stop aggro.
Hmm.
With Heroic, um, look at the top 3 cards. You may reveal an enchantment from among them, put it in your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library. So it's a digger.
Yeah, it's a bad digger. I think like the 1/3 body is not terrible. Like the ability is not the worst thing. It's not.
I won't be playing it for its heroic ability.
I think like it's not. What's the card from uh disciple of the dragon guy?
I'm very confused.
Yeah, the blue card that was like, look at the top 3 cards, put an instant or sorcery from among them.
Yeah, that would be better.
But like that card wasn't even that good in limited.
In this limit, it might be better. I don't know.
It's like
Maybe.
it blocks and it trades with 2 1s, 3 1s, which isn't terrible. I don't think this card's very good.
I think it's okay. It's not Omen Speaker.
It's one of those cards that can like snowball, and if it starts to snowball, it's really good, and if it doesn't, it's not very good.
As I said, it's not Omen Speaker.
Yeah. I'm gonna put it at a. I'll put it at 5.
I don't like. Yeah, it's probably just average for like if you ignore the heroic, and if you think of the heroic, it doesn't add or take anything away. Actually, the heroic might take something away if you accidentally have to target it. Um, but yeah, it's probably just a generic card here.
The only reason I would hesitate to give it a 5 is that it doesn't block trade with ordeal creatures.
Yeah, it's true.
Um, which is I think pretty big in this format.
It does stall aggro for a turn, maybe 2.
It chump blocks a lot of the time,
That too.
but anyway, yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 final answer.
Yeah, that's probably about right. All right, next you have something.
Mind Reaver, 2 blue for a 2/1 with heroic. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Mind Reaver, exile the top 3 cards of target player's library. And for 2 blue, and sacrifice Mind Reaver. Counter target spell with the same name as the card exiled with Mind Reaver. That's a lot of text, but basically it does nothing.
Yep, basically it says if you happen to try to be Ashiok, you will fail.
Yeah, it's not good.
No.
I think it might be interesting in like.
Maybe in like block play it might see something, but it's not standard playable, as
Yeah, it
far as I
might.
can tell.
I'm trying to figure out like why they did this, like why they came up with this card.
Because
Um,
they're fishing for new ideas, and this was a bad one.
no, I don't know. Maybe some like mill player in EDH or something.
Well, EDH, you can't do that because you can't counter us. Whatever.
Well, no, but like that
Because there
doesn't
will
matter.
not be.
Yeah,
Well, I
that
mean,
part
like
doesn't matter. It's just like
let's say for shenanigans, you end up milling some, or you end up exiling somebody's Sphinx's Revelation, so you counter the next Sphinx's Revelation.
yeah.
Okay, that's the best this card will ever be.
What's that?
That's the best that card will ever be.
Yeah, that's pretty rough though.
That's it.
Yeah,
It's not good.
that's pretty bad.
It's not playable.
Not at all. But onto a card that is playable.
What are we gonna give this? Like a 3,
Uh,
2?
mm, yeah, I mean, it's probably like a 2.5. Like, you might play it as like a 2-1 if you're desperate, but probably not.
Yep. All right. Next card.
Hmm.
Let's see what I got here. Nullify. Hey, it's Essence Scatter, and it's what's the other one? Damn it.
Annul?
Annul. Yeah, it's Essence Scatter plus Annul
Yep,
for 2.
yep.
Yep.
2 blue.
2 blue.
This
You'll
is
play
not
this.
quite counterspell, but it's not terrible.
Yeah, it costs 1 more than Counterspell, but it's a kind of card you will probably play in limited. In sealed, if you get this, you'll play it.
Even in constructed.
Even in constructed,
Yeah, it counters gods.
it
It
does.
it's a 2-mana counterspell for gods.
And anything with bestow.
Yeah,
It's a counterspell for about 85% of this set, or this block so far, so it's pretty
yep,
good.
yep. Um,
I
yeah,
think it's probably like just a generic 5. I don't think it's like
no,
super good, but
I don't think counterspells are all that good and limited, to be honest.
I mean I'll play it. Like I'll play either this or like the other one, but
Hold on
who knows?
one second. I think if you have a really dirty control deck, you probably want it. Like, if this is your turn 2 play, it's probably not terrible.
This is not what you want to play on turn 2. This is what
Well,
you want to be playing on like turn 5 or 6 to fuck your opponent over.
well, again, it takes care of ordeals on the play. It's not the worst thing in the world. I'm gonna give
Um,
it a 4.5.
I just gave it a 5. I mean, like in sealed, like I'm thinking about the pre-release next week,
Yeah.
and if I get one of these and I'm in blue, I'm playing it because,
I wouldn't play it in every blue deck, but maybe.
well, it's the kind of thing like it's kind of like a null because you're going to hit an enchantment because it's sealed. There's
Yeah,
gonna be more enchantments played.
yeah, probably.
People are playing that, so it's less good in draft than it is in sealed.
Hmm.
Um, it's just another removal spell
But
in a
it's
way.
not, though. Well, whatever.
It's anti-bomb. That's what it is.
You might want it in some decks.
You'll want it, especially if your opponent is playing a large bomb. You can just wait till they have that mana
Yeah.
and just keep your 2 up, and then they know they can never play it.
Yep. So on to the next one, which is mine.
Yeah, this is yours.
Nyxborn Triton. It is 2 and a blue for a 2/3 with bestow for 5.
This is our second Nyxborn.
Card's fine.
Yep, just vanilla 2/3 for 3 with
Yeah,
bestow. The bestow is
um,
probably a little more relevant.
I agree. It's not bad.
No, it's not terrible. Um, it's probably just it's costed like just like if it were one less cost, it would be really good, and it would not be a common. Like if it cost 4 to bestow, it would not be common. If it cost 2 for its body, it would not be common. So it's just a basic average common. So probably like
Yeah, this is probably like the average card in the set.
if you wanted to know what an average bestow guy looks like, this is it.
Yeah. Yep. 5.
Yep, basic 5 on this
Mm-hmm.
one. Where'd he go? I'm just looking for it on my list here. 5. Alright, next up, I've got Oracle's Insight. I want to break this card, but I know it just, like, it costs 1 too much to be actually useful. I
I think Unlimited, it's an interesting.
it has potential. That's the problem
Yeah.
with these cards. They have potential, and because scrying one and then drawing one is actually really good. It's like really, really good.
Yeah,
Like if you did that, like it's like having Thassa out and then taking an extra turn
kind of.
in a way.
It opens you to 2-for-1s, which
It
is never
does.
good. But
However, if you cast it and then tap it, you have made up that 2-for-1
yeah, in theory.
in theory.
Um,
Um, so if you
so
have
no,
an
yeah.
opportunity to play this on like a wall, because that's probably what you'll do. So if you have an opportunity to play this on like that 0-7 guy,
Mm-hmm. But
um,
would you pay 4 mana to draw 1 card?
the answer is well, scry one and then draw one. No, I would rather pay like 2. That's probably like a 2 for that.
Exactly.
However, if you do it twice, you're fine.
If you do it twice and it enables Inspired, also, like
Which it
it's a
does.
way to get inspired without having to attack,
Yep,
which may or may not be relevant. Um,
yep. It's the kind of thing where like it's an end of turn. Hey, I'm gonna tap my guy, draw a card, and then I'm gonna draw a card, and that's fine.
yeah, and
And
it's a way to make your bears or whatever get that got outclassed later in the game relevant again.
yes, you
It's
won't use this as a heroic trigger because if you're heroic triggering, you are probably attacking with those guys, and this is not an attack spell.
it depends. I could
It's the
see
kind
putting
of
this on like
thing where like you want to have it on either something with like vigilance that you're
Wake
attacking
Crush,
with.
right? And
What?
like the guy who heroic tap a creature.
Yeah, that's the
That
kind of
would be
guy
good
you
on
want on
this.
this.
Or the
This
one
one.
who like heroic draw a card, tap, scry one, draw a card.
Yeah, like that's fine too. Like that way you get your investment back immediately.
Yeah.
Um,
Um
that's fine.
I actually think this card's fairly decent.
Actually, in that circumstance, you would play this. Um, I forget. Would the heroic trigger first, or would the spell
The
come
the
first?
heroic would trigger first because it triggers when you cast.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what I was trying to think about. Cause I don't know. Yeah, this card has potential. If you're playing against an aggro deck, you do not want this
Mm.
because you will die.
Yeah.
It is a dead card. So
I think it's
against like a normal mid-rangey deck,
mhm.
it gives you something where you can potentially just win the game
Yeah.
off of it because it'll give you card advantage, and card advantage is good.
And in sealed, play this card all day.
In sealed, there will probably be more removal for it than
Well,
normal,
yeah, but
but
you always get the shy one, then draw a card.
yeah, unless they
And like
instantly remove it.
it forces them to use removal on things that aren't your bomb,
Yes.
which is fine.
Pay. It's like so in a way it would be a pay for to. You're right there.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it would be pay for like thought seize without taking damage.
yeah,
In a way, without seeing their hand either. So it's yeah, whatever. It's an okay card. Um, I will probably play it because I like cards like this, but it's not great. It's not a top tier card that you want to
no,
automatically
yeah,
get.
it's like 5.5.
It's a filler card. No, it's not even
There
5.5. Let's be
there are gonna
honest.
there are gonna be corner cases where this card's insane.
Yes, you can break this card. But if you can break this card, your opponent has no removal, and that's what lost them the game, and it's not because of this card.
Well, even if you put it on like the 1/4, right? Like if you're against a red deck, they can like have removal and just like not have removal for your 1/4.
I suppose, yeah.
I don't know. It seems really good.
I think it's not really good. I think it's just like a 4.5. honestly. Like, I think it'll be fun, and I think I'll have fun with it, but I don't
Yeah,
think it's the kind of card where
you
I'm
can't do it
like,
really easily.
this is the kind of thing that's going to be starting to be passed around like 10th pick. This is like a 10th pick card. It's like not
It's
great.
it's interesting because the less people play it, the better it gets.
And the longer it's around, the more ridiculous it will become.
Yeah, like if I feel like a card like this goes through cycles where people play it a lot, and then like people know that like turn 4 they could do this,
Yep.
and then they're like, all right, like I should leave up removal for it or whatever, and then like there are, then people don't play it, and then it gets better.
Yeah, and then of course you always play with the people that don't know how to play, in which case they never leave up removal for it, so you always play it.
Yeah, which is a lot of people. Anyway, yeah, card time.
That's
On to
fine. Not
next,
great, just
next
fine.
card is Perplexing Chimera for 4 and a blue. We get a 3/3. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may exchange control of Perplexing Chimera and that spell. If you do, you may choose new targets for the spell.
Yes.
I'll be honest, I have no idea. I have no
I
idea.
That's exactly what I saw when I saw this. I'm like, in let's see, if you know that you know your bomb is just okay or mediocre, and you know that they have like a bomb, and you know like that kind of thing, then yeah, it's fine to play this because you'll get their bomb or something.
I think in a lot of, especially in sealed, this card is insane. Like it just needs to be removed.
It needs to be removed. Yes, it's a removal target. It's like a I don't know. I also kind of think that if you have good bombs too, it's a huge trap because it's
Maybe.
just a four. It's a 5 cost 3/3. If they don't know you have good bombs and you play it, they'll remove it, which is great because then you've lost. You've paid whatever. I don't know. It has potential to be a dick, and so people will hate it.
It's interesting. I like it. I'm gonna play with it.
I don't
If
like
I
it.
open this in sealed or in draft, I'm gonna play it and just see what
If I
happens.
open this in sealed or draft, I will take it because I don't have one yet, and if I have one yet, I'll pass it.
Yeah, like if I've played with it and it's not good, I won't play with it. And if I play with it and it's really good, I'm gonna keep it.
Um, for me, it's like a creature with a wild ricochet attached to it, in a way.
Okay.
Um, Potentially you can trade it for creatures too, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so, oh, speaking of wild ricochet, I had something really fun the other day. I was playing EDH, and a guy was playing a he's playing blue, and he played time warp,
Mm-hmm.
and I wild ricocheted that, and
Nice.
I got 2 turns,
Mm-hmm.
and he hated me for the rest of the match.
Yeah. Understandably.
Yes. And
All
he's
right.
just like, why? You're the only person I've ever seen who's played that card. I'm like, because I had it and I thought it'd be funny.
I think this card.
So,
It's interesting. I'm going to give it a 6.
I think you are way overestimating this card. I actually can't really estimate this card because either in the right circumstances it's a bomb, and in every other circumstance it's just an overcosted 3/3. So,
Yeah.
which gives your opponent the ability to do the same dickish shit to you. Because, like, let's say you go and you cast a removal spell on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've like they cast their bomb, right? So okay, I'll
Yeah.
trade for your bomb. Then they cast removal, targeting, or you cast removal targeting something else that they played, and they just like no, and they kill your bomb,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're back, or their bomb, and you're back at the same circumstance, and you're down the kill spell, and they're not.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's interesting. You're probably right. It's probably more like a 5.
Yeah, it's a 5. Like, I don't know. I just don't like it very much. I think the drawback is very very similar to the one the one that you had, or the one that was had in the Conjured Currency. It's like that kind of card.
Yeah.
It's Conjured Currency with body, and I don't like it. Um, well, is there a way around it? Let me see. I'm thinking, since you're playing blue,
Hmm.
um, you could. No, you'd have to be playing blue against blue for it to even be useful.
Hmm.
And it would have to be played against you. Because what happens is, like, they counter your spell, and then, like, I don't know, you get, somehow you get your guy back and you bounce this guy. I don't know. It's not very good, I don't think. I think it's like a 4, honestly. But if you said 5, I'll meet you in the middle.
Okay, that's fine.
Perplexing Chimera. It is very perplexing.
So next one up is yours.
Yes.
Okay.
Retraction Helix. 1 for an instant that says, until end of turn, target creature gains tap, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand.
It's really good.
Yep.
Enables inspired. Bounces a creature for 1 mana and tap a dude. It seems really good.
It's heroic or inspired trigger plus
Yeah.
unsummon.
Yep.
And it's actually even better than unsummon because it hits planeswalkers, it hits
Yep.
enchantments. It will mess your opponent's day up
Yep.
for only 1 mana.
Yeah.
And in fact, you can hold up 1 blue and you could have this, or you could have like a null and they have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
Hmm.
So this card's decent.
Yep.
Not super great, but it's like a card that you'll pick up probably.
Sure.
It's a bounce. It's a 1 cost bounce that requires you to have a guy for it to work. That's all.
I
So,
agree.
it's slightly worse than like well, it's a fair bit worse than the one from Theros, which was the scry and bounce guy for 2.
Yeah. But it's.
It's playable.
Hmm.
So I'd probably give it just a generic 5. I think the other one was quite a bit better.
I'm gonna go higher than that. I'm gonna say 5.5.
It's a 5. You've been overruled.
Okay.
All right. Next up is you.
Siren of the Fanged Coast. 3 and 2
Yes.
blue for a 1/1 flyer with Tribute 3. As this creature enters the battlefield, an opponent of your choice may place 3+1/+1 counters on it. When Siren of the Fanged Coast enters the battlefield, if tribute was not paid, gain control of target creature.
By the way, this says gain control of target creatures. Not say for a turn. It means forever.
Yep. Doesn't say when it leaves the battlefield. It doesn't say any of that.
It says
Um,
that creature is yours,
it
and it is now
says
your pet.
enjoy your 4/4 for 5.
Yes, it is a 4/4 for 5, unless, well, it's a 4/4 for 5.
Yeah, like
4/4 flyer for 5, and if they don't tribute it, they either have nothing on board,
in which case you're dumb.
in which case you wouldn't have played it anyway.
It gives your opponent a lot of choice, which isn't good.
It doesn't.
I
It
don't
does.
think.
Listen, it does not give your opponent choice. It says this is a 4/4 for 5 flyer.
Well, yeah,
Because if they don't, then you steal one of their blockers.
but I mean, let's say they have bounce, or they have like something that they can do in response to it. They can give it protection. They can do this, that, or the other thing.
I guess, yeah.
It gives your opponent a lot of choice and a
If
lot
your
of
opponent is not playing blue, then this card is great. If your opponent is playing blue, this is a less good card.
or white, or
Or
like
white, I guess.
I don't think the card's
I mean,
great.
it forces them to do something. I guess. Like, you're paying 5, they're either going to use some trick, some removal, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, at worst, you're left with a terrible card. At best, you win the game. And in the middle, most of the time, you'll probably end up with a 4/4 flying for 5,
Which isn't bad.
which isn't bad. But
It's a 5.
yeah, it's just a generic creature.
Yeah.
Against, like, green or whatever, then, lovely.
Yep. Next one's yours.
Yeah, I'm just looking for where Siren ran off to. It's here somewhere. No, that's not it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, 5. Are we up to terrorist yet?
No, Sphinx's Disciple.
Oh, terrorist must be next. Sphinx's Disciple. It's another 5-coster. It's 3 and 2 blue for a human wizard that flies. It's a 2/2 with inspired draw.
Good. Good.
Yes.
I like it. I like drawing cards. I like.
Remember that card that said tap and scry to draw
Yeah. Or it gets
for
real
Magical
ridiculous
Christmas Land.
real quick.
Yeah, this should be removed anyway. Like, this is just a removal target because you attack in the air and you draw a card because you attacked in the air because you're blue, and that's just silly.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Yep.
However, I do not think it's a 5. I think it's like a 4 because it's really high costed. And I know why they high costed it, because if they didn't, it would be really silly.
You need to attack once in order for this thing to be good.
Yes, and if you cannot attack once or you cannot tap it once, then it is not a good card. Let's just put it this way: in testing, it probably started out as like costing 4,
Yeah.
and there's a reason it costs 5.
It's still really powerful.
It has the potential to be really powerful, but it's a 5-drop as opposed to a 4-drop. And I just think that it's easy enough to remove that.
Yeah.
If it was a 2/3, I would say it's better, but it's not. I just think it's like a 4.
If it was a 2/3, it'd probably be saying.
If it was a 2/3, I would say it's a 5, but I don't think so.
Yeah, it's probably around 4 or 5. I think its potential upside is a lot higher than that.
Potential upside, but it's a thing. All right, you have another one.
Stratus Walk, 1 in a blue for enchantment. Enchant creature when Stratus Walk enters the battlefield, draw a card. Enchanted creature has flying. Enchanted creature can block only creatures with flying.
The second part of it doesn't matter because you're enchanting a creature that you're not blocking with. That's part 1. Part 2 is you're drawing a card for 2, which is okay.
Yeah, the question is this card better? Is like any card in your deck, any random card off the top better than this card? Which I think it is. So as just like
it's a replacement effect.
Card.
It's one of the replacement effects.
Yeah, it's just cantrips. It's nice that it gives the creature flying, but you also get, your opponent gets to not really 2-for-1 to you because you do get a card, and it's probably better than this card because this card just does nothing on its own.
It thins your deck.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
It's not great. It's not like Scorchmark or whatever.
It's a 5.
No.
No, it's a 5. It draws a card so it replaces itself. The card is
it gives
probably...
your creature flying, so it reads, give your creature flying that you're about to smack your opponent with, draw a card for 2.
Yeah.
Because you're not blocking with that creature.
Which is fine.
This is the kind of thing, for that, remember that 4/4 we were talking about?
Yeah.
This is the kind of aura you would remove.
Yeah.
Because then you could play it and draw another card.
Or Fate Foretold or whatever, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, Fate Foretold is probably better.
But I don't know.
Well, this gives
With
it flying, so I don't know actually. Yeah, this is it's okay. It's not great. I don't really
yeah,
want to play this if I don't have to.
if you're in an aggressive deck, you could do worse.
Yes, you could definitely do worse, but you can also do much better.
Well, like giving a creature flying and then just like drawing a card is pretty good in an aggressive deck when you just need like those one or two more cards to just punch through damage.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think it's like a 4.5 on this guy.
Yeah, sure.
I don't think he's like the kind of thing you want to really go after if you don't have to.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
it could be better. You know, it could certainly be better. All right, I now have something called Sudden Storm, which is Frost Breath
Yep.
with Scry
Yep.
for one more.
Yep. It's frost. It's good. Frost Breath is really good. This card is very good.
Not very good. This card is fine, but it has Scry, which makes it better, but it costs one more, which makes it not as good. So it's just like the same.
You pay whatever you can for this effect.
I would
You
actually
just
prefer it be 3 without the Scry because then you can
sure.
go from removal at 2 to removal this at 3 to removal at 4.
Yeah, but I mean, you pay whatever you have to for this. Like, you're just like tap four, tap down, Nessian Aspen, Vulpine Goliath. They don't untap, scry one, put it on the bottom. Like, it's just good. It's just a very good card. It's a 5.5, definitely. It's just,
Yeah, it's the kind of card that you want to have in your deck. A one
it's a
of.
good blue card.
You want to have one of this in your blue deck.
Yeah.
That's all there is to this card.
Yep. Thassa's Rebuff. One in a blue for an instant counter target spell unless its controller pays X, where X is your devotion to blue.
Hey, you know that card that people are playing in standard that does the same thing, where like the one where it's X blue and they have to pay X.
Oh, Syncopate?
Yeah, it's like Syncopate, except if you're playing mono blue, this is better.
Yeah, this card's much better than Syncopate.
Aside from that, it's a counterspell
It
and
in limited, it's awful.
limited. It's better than Stymied Hopes.
Yeah, and
It's better than
Seven
Stymied
Hopes
Hope,
was
and some
also
people are paying that.
awful. Well, yeah, but they were bad. Like, Thassa's Rebuff is a bad card.
Thassa's Rebuff is a pretty bad card. It's not absolutely horrible. It's not so bad, but it's not good either. It's like a three and a
Ugh.
half or a 4. You
Um,
might play it. If you're going hardcore control, you might play it.
if you are, if you have like enough blue devotion to where this just well, because a lot of the time, like a lot of the time in the early turns, people are tapping out, but then this card does nothing if you leave up 2 mana for it on turn two, because chances are you don't have blue devotion yet. So you need to tap out also,
Well, this
and
this
then
is for something where this is the kind of card you're playing on like turn 5 or 6 to counter something big. That's what this is for.
yeah, which is cool. But like, if on turn 5 or 6 they just like play a 4 drop, if they're just top decking and then they play a 4 drop, then you just this card just does nothing.
Yeah, probably.
I think it's a 4.5.
Yeah, basically what I gave
In
it.
limited, in standard, it's really good. Play it in mono blue, and I'll hate you forever. But it's really good in standard, but in limited, not so much.
And we have a terrorist.
We do.
That
This is yours.
so this translates to terrorism in Greek. So
Yes.
yes, that is a terrorist kraken. It's 5 and 2 blue for an 8/8 legendary kraken. It has hexproof if it's not attacking or blocking, and it can't be blocked unless everything blocks it.
This is a 7 drop.
If you want the definition of a bomb, this is it.
Yeah, if you want to pay 7 to win the game, this does that for you.
Yep.
It's also like 7, but it's a rare.
It's an 8/8 for 7 that has hexproof half the time and is either unblockable or destroys everything.
Yeah, it's
That's
really
why it is
good.
called a terrorist.
It's really good. It's an 8. It does cost 7 mana.
I don't think it's an 8 for the fact that it does not have hexproof when it actually matters.
But it just wins you the game.
It does win you the game.
Like,
And removal only, the only removal that actually would hit it is blue, and that only temporarily solves the problem.
yeah, like,
So yeah, it's probably like a 7.5. I think. I don't think it's an
yeah,
8.
it's
It's a
really
good card.
good. It's really
This
good.
is a windmill slam.
Well, that depends upon what you
I
want
like
to do
blue.
with
I
your
will
deck.
win. I will windmill slam this.
Yeah, I mean, I like blue too, and I will probably also win this on this. But like in draft, there are going to be a lot of situations where this just sits in your hand and does nothing.
Yes, it is a 7
In,
drop. It is really hard to get to 7 drops. However, it's very
in
much
seals, it's
like
better.
it's like it's slightly better than the white one, by the way.
Yeah, in sealed, if you open this, play it. I think.
I'm
I
trying to
think.
remember. I think this
Yeah, you will.
is this the promo for blue?
Hopefully, I'm playing blue then.
It's either this one or it's Perplexing Chimera.
Oh,
No, I don't actually remember. Because it's one of the rares, obviously. And actually, no, it's the Arbiter of the Ideal. It's the flying inspired card flipping thing.
oh, really? That card's good.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. That's the 6 coster.
Yeah,
This is not that one. Okay. Last up we have
there are two more.
2 more.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 2 more.
Vortex Elemental, 1 blue for an 0/1 creature. For 1 blue, you can put Vortex Elemental and each creature blocking or blocked by it on top of their owner's libraries. Then those players shuffle their libraries. For
Voidstalker is back.
for 3 and 2 blue, target creature blocks Vortex Elemental is turn favorable. How I like to think of this card is basically blues.
It's Voidstalker.
No, it's blues Sedge Scorpion.
I guess.
You block it and then it dies. It goes away.
It doesn't die
It goes away
for now.
for now.
If it was an enchantment and you could dig for it, that would be stupid. But it's not.
It's blues Sedge Scorpion. It's gonna be as good as that.
Probably, yeah.
I promise. It's gonna be 5.5, maybe 6. You're gonna pick them up early. You're gonna play them.
Yeah, you're not gonna pick him like first pick,
No.
probably, but you might. There's actually a thought
If-
on that.
If the back's bad, you would do it.
Yes,
But if not, then like
because you're not gonna pay the 5 to cause something to block it, probably,
no, not unless
unless
you
it's
need
a
to.
flyer and you have to.
But it does give you late game mana sink off the top. It's not terrible. It's just the
It's
card.
something. It's a
The
card.
card's very good. The card's very good. You'll play it. You'll pick it early.
Yep.
For sure. 6. Maybe even 6.5. This
I think
card.
6 about right. I mean,
This-
I will take it. I like it.
This card is very good. This card is
Last up, then, we have Whelming Wave, which is return all creatures to their owner's hands except krakens, leviathans, octopuses, and serpents.
which is Flavor City.
Flavor City, and in Standard, I think that means throw everything to owner's hands.
Yeah. In
Which makes it better than what?
Cyclonic Rift, maybe.
Potentially. It has the potential to be better than Cyclonic Rift. No, it actually doesn't, because Cyclonic Rift is all non-land permanents.
Also, it's an instant, but in
Yeah.
limited,
This is your Cyclonic Rift.
this may be really, really good.
See, the thing about that Kraken that we were talking about before is that it's a Kraken, and yeah. It's a
I don't
Kraken.
even think you need that. I like a lot of times you'll be like, if you can like go Voyage's End, Griptide, Whelming Wave, and then just like stop them from ever getting traction on the board.
But this includes your creatures, too.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you can curve up removal and bounce into this.
Yeah, like, if all you're
And then
doing
just-
is just removing and bouncing and just doing nothing and just dirtling forever, then this is the perfect card for you.
I don't think it's bad. if the cards in your deck late game are going to beat the cards in your opponent's deck late game, then you want this card. If they aren't, then you don't.
Yep. If your plan is to halt aggro by not letting them do shit until you start dropping your 4/4s and 5/5s and so on,
Yeah,
then
until you
this is
go
the
like,
card you want.
if you're playing Tomocratus,
Yes, if
and
you are
you
playing a
get-
terrorist thing,
yeah,
then you want
if
this.
you're playing like a 7 drop that wins the game, and you just want to like stall until you hit that card, this is the card for you. But other than that, it's not really
Again,
that
the
good.
problem with this is that there's actually no 3-drop removal yet in blue. There's 1-drop removal, there's 2-drop removal, and there's
Vortex
4-drop
Elemental.
and 6-drop, and there's
Vortex
no.
Elemental.
That's one.
Well, yeah, but like you to use go like 2 drop removal, this thing.
Yeah,
You've got mana for it.
I guess.
Also, like you could get enter the battlefield effects with this.
What enter the battlefield effects are we talking about? 'Cause I don't think there are really that many.
I don't know. It's just something to
Enter
note.
the battlefield effects have been replaced by this thing called heroic.
Yeah, it's just something to note.
It is a really good way of dealing with ordeals, though,
Yes. Well,
because ordeals go away.
yeah,
This is
it
all
is.
creatures.
It
does
is
not say
really
ordeal.
good at dealing with ordeals. That's true.
Actually, if you've bestowed like your guys, like let's say, you have a couple of dudes that you played early on, you bestowed them,
Yeah.
right? You cast this, the bestowed guys come in, and you have dudes on the field still. So that's something
Yeah,
to keep in mind
it's
with this
true.
card.
It's not terrible. They're gonna be.
Will
It's
you play it?
situational.
Will
It's
you play it?
situational.
Probably. If you're in blue, you'll probably play it.
Maybe.
Maybe. But it's a rare, so you'll never see it, and it's not a first pick, so
Yeah, it's 4.5.
yeah, exactly.